Every woman holds a truth she never speaks. Mine was born the night I realized my heart was a traitor, beating for a man who wasn't mine. I had been with Ryan for nearly a year. He was kind, dependable, the kind of man a family dreams of for their daughter. He was safe, but in the quiet spaces of my own mind, I felt a deep, unsettling vacancy, like a room in a house I could never quite furnish. And then there was Arrive, Ryan's best friend. He was a man of quiet height and steady presence who drew the eye without ever asking for it. The first time our gazes met, it wasn't the casual, friendly glance one gives a partner's friend. No, this was deeper. It felt like an excavation, as if he could see straight through the careful performance I staged for Ryan, for the world. At first, I told myself I was imagining it, but that look lingered in my memory. As days bled into weeks, the silence between us grew louder than any conversation. I'd catch him watching me when he thought no one was looking, and perhaps I started watching back. Then came the night that fractured everything. We were at my place when Ryan's phone buzzed with an urgent call from work. He laughed, clapped, Arrive on the shoulder, and said, "Bro, keep her entertained. I'll be back in an hour." 1 hour. An eternity. At first, a fragile peace held. He scrolled through his phone. I pretended to be absorbed in the television, but the air was thick, charged with unspoken things. Every breath felt heavy. "I'll make some tea," I finally whispered, desperate for the sanctuary of another room. I escaped to the kitchen, but he followed. He didn't crowd me. He just stood there, a quiet, magnetic presence that seemed to fill every corner. I could feel him. My hand trembled as I lifted the kettle. A cup clattered, and hot tea spilled across the counter. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice low as he rushed forward. His hand covered mine to steady it. Firm, warm, and certain. That single touch wasn't just skin on skin. It was a silent confession, a language our bodies spoke when our voices couldn't. I didn't pull away. My back was against the counter now. He was only inches from me. When I finally found the courage to lift my eyes, he was already watching me, his gaze intense and unwavering. A current passed between us, irreversible and absolute. His hand slid from mine to my waist, the movement slow and deliberate, as if granting me a final chance to stop him. I didn't. I should have. But every fiber of my being screamed not for him to stop, but for him to continue. When his lips brushed the sensitive skin of my neck, I remained still. When his fingers grazed the bare skin just beneath my shirt, I leaned into his touch. None of it was planned. None of it made sense, but it felt more real than anything I had experienced in my life, making everything else feel like a poorly rehearsed play. We didn't cross the final line that night. No clothes were shed, but a far more dangerous boundary was erased, the fragile line between loyalty and desire. When Ryan returned, we smiled and laughed as if nothing had happened. But we both knew. We were both changed. The days that followed were wrapped in a strange, knowing silence. We never spoke of it, but in the space between words, the memory lived and breathed. Every time I saw him with Ryan, every stolen glance across a room, I remembered the heat, the touch, the profound weight of what we had almost done. Guilt should have consumed me, and in fleeting moments, it did. But the longing was a stronger, more persistent ache. Lying awake beside Ryan, staring into the darkness, I wondered if Arrive thought of me, too. Did he regret it? Did he want more? Or had it been a fleeting moment that meant something only to me? Weeks crawled by. My phone would buzz, and for a split second, my heart would leap, hoping it was him. It never was. Then, one afternoon, fate intervened. I saw him standing by his car, alone. Our eyes locked before either of us could look away. He gave a small, almost imperceptible nod, a silent invitation. I should have kept walking. I didn't. We talked, at first about nothing. The weather, work, meaningless words to fill the space. But beneath it all, the memory of that night pulsed between us. Finally, he broke the spell. I haven't stopped thinking about you. The world stilled. Hearing him say it aloud made it terrifyingly real. I wasn't alone in this forbidden space. From that day on, a secret current flowed between us. A text late at night. A brief call when we knew the other was alone. It wasn't constant, but it was enough to keep the flame from dying out. I told myself I could control it, that I could keep this part of my life separate and harmless. But once a line like that is crossed, you can never truly go back. My secret grew, a beautiful, terrible weight in my soul. Ryan still looked at me with a love and trust that shattered me, because the loyal, safe woman he saw no longer existed. Some nights, I still lie awake and replay it all. The first look, the silence, the touch, and I ask myself, was it love, or was it simply the intoxicating thrill of being seen, truly and completely seen, by the one person I was never supposed to want? Perhaps I'll never know. But one thing is certain. Every woman has a secret, and this one is mine.